Hi, I'm Rachel. Welcome to my channel. This week's video is about blouses, but I'm going to talk about them from the perspective of different ability levels. So I've chosen 9 patterns, 3 for beginners, 3 for intermediate and 3 for advanced. And I'm going to talk you through all of them from beginner to advanced. And then at the end, I'm going to talk about fabric choice as well, which is really key, especially when you're a beginner. So let's begin. Okay, let's start with my 3 beginner patterns. So the first pattern is extremely simple, but a really useful garment actually, and it's from Sew Over It, and it's their silk cami. Now this is a PDF pattern, sizes 6 to 30. It is a sleeveless cami. It's got internal French seams, which not something to be scared of, and you get a really nice clean internal finish, and all in one neck facing, and there are no darts or fastenings. So this is a great one for an absolute beginner, and I would suggest making it in various different fabrics. I'm going to talk a bit more about fabrics at the end, but all of these blouse patterns and tops patterns, they're all for wovens. I would start with a simple lightweight cotton lawn perhaps, and then move on to possibly a crepe de chine or a crepe. You could also use a viscose as well, a viscose challis. There are a huge range of fabrics, and if you read all the pattern information as well, it gives you really great fabric suggestions. So that's just a brilliant beginner pattern to start with. Okay, moving on to a pattern from Tilly and the Buttons. So this is another over the head top with no openings or fastenings, and it's their Samara top, but this comes with sleeves. So it's got a modern relaxed fit, it's got a V-neck, it's got a drop shoulder, and it's got 4 sleeve stars here you can see in the infographic. So it's got a straightforward sleeve, it's got 2 sleeves of different lengths with a gathered elasticated cuff, and then it's got a shorter, almost like a sort of border trim sleeve as well, which is the infographic at the bottom as well. So that will take you from doing a very simple top with a neck facing to a top with a sleeve as well. So that might be your next step. And that's a paper or PDF pattern, sizes 6 to 34. And then the third one, for beginners, moving on to, this is a really simple blouse, but it's got a collar. So now you're going to have also a centre front button placket, but a collar and a sleeve as well. Okay, so it's the Avid Seamstress, the Blouse, PDF or paper sizes 6 to 22. So it's got a stand collar, which is probably the simplest collar you could do. It's got a front button placket, so you're going to have to do buttonholes. Lots of practice with those before you do it on the real thing. It doesn't have any bust darts, and it also has a sleeve with an elasticated cuff. I think that's a set-in sleeve where you actually have to make the armhole, so you make the shoulder seam and the underarm seam, you make up the sleeve and you set it in to the existing made armhole. So that selection of 3 beginner patterns takes you from a very simple shell to a V-neck top with a neck facing and a sleeve, and then the final one is an actual blouse with a stand collar, centre front buttons, a set-in sleeve, and also again an elasticated cuff. So I think those 3 are great to start with, and if I particularly like the style, once I've perfected the fit, I'd make them on repeat in different fabrics, and that is the way you really learn. You learn by doing in sewing, as in many things. So that's where I would start as a beginner. So the first 3 are for beginners, as I said. So if you are a beginner, you might be interested in the class that I recently took on Skillshare, and it will help you learn all about sewing patterns, which would be incredibly helpful for a beginner. So it's actually called Sewing Patterns 101, Learn to Read Sewing Patterns with Ariana Bayer. I found it really interesting and informative, especially the information about vintage patterns, and I actually think it's pretty relevant for makers of all abilities. Other members have given it really, really excellent reviews, and even as an experienced maker, I found it a really good refresher, as I say, especially the section on vintage patterns, but it also covers commercial patterns as in the big four, as well as indie pattern makers. It's also accompanied by a PDF resource list, which again is very useful to have as reference material. So I think Skillshare is not just for beginners, but really for anyone looking to learn new skills, explore hobbies, and even enhance their professional career. Even if you want to reconnect with your creativity, it's great. So Skillshare are giving the opportunity to access Skillshare for free. The first 500 people to use my link in the description below will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Okay, so we're going to move on to intermediate patterns now. The first one is a classic white shirt that everybody should have in their sewing arsenal, and I have chosen, although there are many around, the Modern Sewing Company's classic shirt. So it's got all the elements you would expect in a classic shirt: collar and stand, cuff and placket. It's got French seams. It's got ease at the sleeve head, so that's a satin sleeve. It's got a double shoulder yoke and a shaped hem, and it's a PDF pattern UK 4 to 28. So a really useful shirt pattern there from the Modern Sewing Company. And then moving on to a style from Fibre Mood. So this is their Maris top, again a PDF sizes 6 to 30 UK sizes. So this has got loads of gauging. It's also got a front placket and a bound neck edge, so some different details to deal with. So bias neck edge, centre front placket, which is it's an over the head style again, so it's got concealed buttons. It's got a double back yoke and it's got gauging. It's got quite a lot of gauging, this style, so at the front shoulder, across the back, and also the sleeves are gathered at the sleeve heads and also into the cuff, and then you've got a button cuff, and I think it's a bound opening at the cuff as well. So just a really different silhouette as well, but it's a great style to get to grips with gauging, or gathering. I call it gauging, but also gathering. Okay, and then the third style, I wanted to choose a wrap, and this is a Victory Patterns Drina. It's actually a dress and a blouse or top. So I chose it as an intermediate, not just because of the construction details, but probably because you'd want to use quite a fluid fabric, which is, you need a little bit more experience of dealing with, I guess. It's a bit slippery, it's a bit harder, it's a bit more tricky. So it's got this beautiful gathering detail into the raglan sleeve above the bust. It's got a V-neck with this crossover effect, and it's got these absolutely beautiful raglan sleeves which extend out into huge sleeves, and then you've got a sort of slash opening at the base of the armhole just above the waist, and then you've got a sash tie, and the sort of gently fluted, it's gently sort of fluted around the hips below the waist, and I just think it's absolutely stunning. PDF sizes 2 to 16. And it's also a dress as well, so quite a good value pattern. Okay, so moving on to some more advanced styles. I think it was really quite hard to choose between some intermediate and some advanced styles, because I think it just depends where you are on your sewing journey. So somebody's intermediate might be somebody's advanced, or vice versa. It may well depend on the techniques that you've come across in your sewing journey so far. So comments below on your favourite beginner, intermediate and advanced blouse patterns, please. Okay. So advanced. So I've chosen Monster Fabricants Esther blouse, which I think is beautiful, and I have featured it before. Also a dress, this one. So it comes in 2 size sets: 80 to 96 bust or 96 to 116 bust. It's got this notched revere collar with this centre front pleat detail. bust darts, yoke and optional back gathers at the yoke. It's got a self-faced hem, and it's got a cuff and a button fastening at the cuff. It's just a really nice clean silhouette, and that front fold detail I think is exceptionally nice. Right, moving on to this really pretty start from Maison Forth. This is the Zenith. PGF sizes 6 to 18. It's got a bound neck, and it has short sleeves and long sleeves, but the key thing about this style are the dart details which come out like a sort of sun ray around the neck, and I just think it's absolutely beautiful. Although, having said that, also quite tricky. You've got to get them absolutely right. I just think it's absolutely beautiful. PGF pattern 6 to 18. And then last but by no means least, an advanced pattern from Vogue, and this is designed for sheer fabric. So as I said earlier about the Victory Patterns Trina, it was not just the construction details, it might be the fact that you have to use a particular fabric, and this is very much so with this style from Vogue Patterns, because the blouse is designed for sheer fabrics like a chiffon. So it's described as semi-fitted, hip length, round neck, front buttons, elbow length, two-piece sleeves, flounces which extend to a 3/4 length sleeve, and a bias cut under cami. So as I say, for sheer fabrics in particular, but a really beautiful evening piece, I think. And if you're in the sort of upper intermediate stages of your sewing, this might be the kind of thing that you might want to shoot for, something a bit more special. So that's from Vogue, V2180, PDF or paper 10 to 18 or 18 to 26. Okay, I hope you enjoyed that, and maybe it will have inspired you to start sewing again, or maybe up your game to a higher level. So I was thinking from the perspective of somebody who's going to start sewing, and I wanted to have sort of my top 10 tips. So these are inexhaustible, but so these are 10 points I think that are good to remember if you're starting to sew. So my very first point is to keep things simple if you're starting off. Maybe start with a simple project like a tote bag or a cushion cover. It's all straight lines, so you get lots of practice of sewing straight lines, which is important. And you'll also get used to handling different fabrics, and you'll get used to using your sewing machine and threading the needle, maybe using different needles and maybe different threads. So I think that's a really good place to start at. And in terms of fabrics, start with stable cottons. If you're making cushions and tote bags, you might even start with a cotton calico. If you're starting to make garments, you could start with a cotton poplin. As a rule, a cotton poplin is going to be really stable, and it presses really well also. Moving on to press as you sew, because you will get a better finish. Also, read your instructions first. Read your pattern instructions first. Get your head around the whole process of making the garment from start to finish, and it will give you a better understanding of how the garment goes together and why you're doing those things in a particular order. I think that's a really important part of the learning process. And then you'll probably get to a point with simpler garments where you virtually don't need the instructions once you've done enough sewing. Invest in a reasonable pair of fabric shears. They don't have to cost a fortune, but just keep them for fabrics. Don't use them for other things because you just blunt them. And it's really important to have a really sharp pair of fabric scissors because it enables you to cut things out properly. Okay, mark carefully. So all those notches, the tucks, the darts, everything, mark them properly, mark them carefully, because that will have an effect on the overall look of your garment, and it will make things off if you don't mark them accurately. Always test your stitching, your machine stitching, on a scrap of fabric first, and the same would go for fusing if you're using iron-on fusing, say for a facing. test it on a scrap first to check you've got the iron temperature right, and you may want to use a cloth between the fabric and the fusing and your iron as well, just to be safe. Always finish your seams. You can zigzag stitch if you haven't got an overlocker, use an overlocker if you've got an overlocker. You can use pinking shears, you can do French seams. Important to finish your seams properly. And I think the thing that sort of bookends with keep things simple is take it slowly. There's nothing worse than rushing a project, making a mistake, and in the end it takes you longer. You know, when you start, I think do simple projects and be there for the wins, and it's more encouraging and it's going to inspire you to maybe move on to something more complicated when you've done a project that you're really happy with. And don't forget that mistakes are just part of the learning process. I make mistakes now. I think my biggest Achilles heel is probably concealed zips. I can do a reasonable concealed zip, but I have been known to make some real blinding mistakes. Like last week I put one in and I put one side in okay, and then I put the other one in and I twisted it round, so I had to unpick it, which is really annoying. So everybody makes mistakes. It's 100% part of the learning process. So as I say, I hope you enjoyed that. Comments below on your favourite patterns. Maybe, you know, even as a more advanced sewer, we all like a simple pattern. So if you've got any really good beginner patterns that you're aware of, do put a little comment below and share them with the community. I will be back next week with another video. Do not forget that I'm on Instagram, and if you follow me on Instagram, this is my Instagram handle, you'll be alerted to my weekly videos, which come out 10:30 AM Greenwich Mean Time on a Saturday morning. So that's it for this week. Hope you enjoyed it, hope you're inspired, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Bye.